Welcome back to the Listen Up podcast, where we analyze a new album each week. I'm Jamie, and this week we've got me, Nick,
Devoyne Shower Handle,
Jordan,
Tiptoe,
and joining us for the first time is a friend of mine and Nick's, Hunter.
Hello, hi, yeah, that's me.
I'll cut an applause for sure. This week we're going to be taking a look at Bummer by Cleopatrick, released in 2021, and it was picked by Hunter. Hunter, why did you want to do this album as your debut to the show?
Well, I'm going to be honest, I'm not really been listening to a lot of new music. I don't think that's really my fault. I think that's a lot of, there's not been much coming out lately that I've been, I don't know, at least out of my genre range. And one thing that really interests me about this band is not only is this their first album, but they were really popular before this. Like, they had like 1 or 2 EPs, and it's, like a really popular singles and stuff. And it's only 2 people, just 1 guitar and drums, So it's pretty crazy the sound they produce, I think.
Yeah, there's what is it? Is it Royal Blood? That's the same thing?
Yeah.
It's just 2 guys?
Yeah, it's very similar, except for they have a bass instead of a regular guitar.
Yeah.
Right.
Jamie, have you heard of the Black Keys? I think their early stuff had
no, I don't.
2 people.
I don't think I've heard of. Is that like a new band or like an underground?
They did come out.
They did Get the Party Started. Let's Get It Started. That's the Black Keys, right?
It was like, let's get
Oh, wait.
Oh.
Whoa.
That's the British version.
That's the British
version.
The British are insensitive.
No way you said that. That's
still insane
hilarious.
To me.
The British version.
I just can't believe it exists. But yeah, and you mentioned that they were popular before this album came out. I didn't realize this album, when you told it to me, I was like, oh, okay, because I'd heard of the band for the last few years because of Hometown. I think, and I really like that song. I played it the other night, and I learned that Vic knew all the words, like knew more words to it than I did. I was shocked by that. But yeah, so I knew him from that, and I didn't realize that 1, they hadn't put out a full album yet, and that 2, this album, it was June 4th?
Yeah,
it was early June this year.
Yeah, actually, they did a live stream on the date. I caught it. By accident, actually. I was just on YouTube when I saw it. I was like, oh, okay, well.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and they, I don't know. I agree with that. Like, it's really crazy how that's, like, their first debut, yet tons of people seem to know them,
Right. Yeah, so I found that interesting that I was listening to technically what is a first album. And I liked it. Jordan and Nick, how familiar were you with the band?
Jordan,
not
take
familiar.
It away.
Not familiar at all. It's a really different genre of music than I think we've listened to kinda at all on the podcast. What would you say was the closest thing? Like,
I think Her Own Words is probably the closest.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
But In Her Own Words, I feel like was more poppy than this. But yeah, that's probably in the same vein.
Yeah,
the closest of what we've done.
But they sounded close enough to where I'm gonna recommend them to my brother because I feel like he'll probably like them.
I'd be surprised if he didn't already know them.
Yeah.
But if not, then he'll probably for sure like them.
I was surprised with the amount of streams that some of their big singles had that I had never heard of them. Like at 0.
At all?
Yeah.
Ever?
Nothing. And
I mean, you've probably heard Hometown just from me being on the aux, but
okay,
I get what you mean about like not realizing. Yeah, I mean, this came out June 4th, and unless they're counting the single streams for it, Good Grief has 3.1 million streams.
Good lord.
Yeah, and that might be because I'm pretty sure that was one of the singles for the album.
Yeah.
So it might be counting that as well. I don't know how Spotify works their metrics that way, but still, like that's a crazy amount of streams. So yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that you hadn't consciously heard of them either.
And Hometown isn't on this album, is it?
No, it's not.
I didn't think so.
It's an earlier song of theirs.
I'll have to go back and listen to it because I only listened to this album for this week. I didn't branch out to any of their other stuff. But
Gotcha.
if you've played it in the past, I probably know it.
Yeah, Hometown has 51 million streams.
Okay.
Came out 2017
Gosh.
as a single. Yeah, and I really like it. I liked some songs on this album. I still think Hometown's probably my favorite song of theirs. But there's some good ones on this album for sure. So I guess then not hearing them before, what'd you guys think preliminarily?
If you like distorted guitar, I think you'd love this band.
Yep, that's true.
It was okay for me. I don't know if that I loved it. It was a lot of the kind of same thing again, which again, if you like it, this is perfect. It's kind of like the drill rap that I listened to. Like you guys said, like the Pop Smoke album was a lot of the same thing, but I like it, so that's why I really like that album. A little bit goes for this too. I think it's very repetitive, and that could be good or bad. That's not a repetitive in the bad way, but if you like it a lot, it'll satisfy your fancy. But I think it was okay for me. I wouldn't say I loved it or that I'd even maybe listen to it again, but it was okay.
I'm gonna say I really didn't like it when I first listened to it, but it grew on me a lot more than I expected. And when I read some of the lyrics and kind of saw, like, I think they said they get some of their inspiration from Highly Suspect. I was like, oh man, they really do sound similar to them, and I don't know how I didn't correlate that when I was listening
I don't either,
because
that's like my first thought.
I hadn't listened to Highly Suspect in forever, but I do love Highly
Yeah,
Suspect's first album. But
I've been listening to a lot of Highly Suspect.
Yeah, but it grew on me more than I anticipated, and it's still not really my like main genre of music, but I enjoyed it more than I feel like someone else would think I would enjoy it. That was a terrible way to say that.
I thought you were about to call me out. You're like,
trace it.
I like it better than this.
Trace my
I enjoyed it more than
head.
some other people.
Yeah,
Like,
I thought you were trying to like
calling you-
subtweet me, man.
I did enjoy it more than Jordan. I can guarantee that.
Oh,
Makes
you can
sense.
guarantee that, my guy.
It's funny you say the thing about Highly Suspect. One of my notes was like listening to this album and some of their other stuff made me. I've also been listening to more Highly Suspect because I was like, shit, I should go back and listen to like Mr. Asylum and shit more. Yeah, I mean, I like the album too. I really sounded like I was going to say something. I wasn't. I had nothing else after that.
Well, I don't know. I have a couple of things I'd like to say about it.
Of course.
And I guess, like, the biggest thing about this band that's, like, interesting to me, because I listen to a lot of, like, more experimental rock and, like, like, I mean, Royal Blood we were talking about earlier is one of my favorite bands. And almost every song they use a different set of, like, pedals and, like, the way that they do, like, the drum fills and stuff is just all, beautiful syncopations everywhere. The thing is about this band is like really his lyrics are just super interesting because it's more of like a rap song rather than a rock song the way that it's done, I think, because you can't really, a lot of times you don't really get what he's saying at first, and then if you like read it over with the lyrics you can understand it, but it's like, why did he, part of the word is like on the next like stanza basically, if that makes sense, you know. And I at first it was weird to me, but I don't know, I like it now. It's kind of just like having a third instrument, but it's singing
a little bit. Yeah, it gives you yeah, I guess it definitely it occupies the part of your brain and makes you
and
just listen to it a little bit
the
more.
more I get into it, the more like I realize I think he's trying to emulate kind of a bass with that, because all of his, for the most part, his singing is very I don't know, like Queens of Stone Age, like just very like just goes on like a couple notes basically. You know what I mean? Like it's not very like nuanced, like crazy, like Nothing But Thieves or something where or like Fall Out Boy, like operatic style. You know, it's very like
very cut and dry.
Yeah, and
delivery-wise.
You know, but the guitar is crazy the whole time. So you know, in my opinion, I think he's trying to emulate kind of a bass with that, which I like. But
that makes sense. I didn't really think about that. Like I didn't have that thought while listening to it, but I definitely understand what you mean, and yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I like the comparison to Queens of the Stone Age. I haven't listened to them in forever, but I do like them a lot.
Just listening to Radiohead.
Yeah. We have to mention Radiohead once a podcast. That's the quota right there. I did listen to the Radiohead Keynotes episode this week.
I still haven't.
It was good.
There have been a lot of podcasts out this week I've been catching up on, so I got you.
But yeah, Joshua Homme. I think you say his last name Homme, but it looks like
Hom. It is. It's funny.
Yeah, but
he's a real Homme.
He doesn't really go crazy with his vocal range. Like you said, he kind of stays in a pretty tight space. And I didn't even think of that comparison at all with the singer on this album.
Yeah,
but I see it now that you say it.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because that's with Royal Blood, that what their singer Mike Kerr says is like he likes that kind of singing because it's almost like metal the way like their music is and everything, but he's not screaming, so it's like it's a lot different. It's a lot different feeling. But Queens of the Stone Age, there's a reason why they're still, everybody knows about them.
Mm-hmm.
That's a band I just don't get.
I've never heard of them.
I just don't get. Like I wish I could understand. Like, because Nick, I don't want to out you, but you went through a pretty big Queens of the Stone Age phase.
I did,
like sophomore year, and you'd be playing it, and I'd be like, what am I missing here? Everything about this I should like. It's like the Strokes. Everything about it I should like. I miss something, and I don't know what it is. They don't have the intangibles for me.
It was freshman year. I was pretty big into them.
Was it freshman year?
Yeah, because that's when they came out with. I forget the name of their newest album, but it's the one with the devil on it, like on Joshua Homme's
Songs
back.
for the Deaf.
Huh.
Wait, that's an old one, right? That's like the one with the pitchfork on it, right?
Oh, my bad. You said the devil, Villains? That one?
Yeah, Villains, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was just thinking of a pitchfork when you said devil. Yeah.
I got you.
Me too. I had that thought, and I was like, that one's new? I feel like that one's on like Rock Band 2.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I don't like them, because that song that's on whatever rock band that is was my introduction to it, and I don't like that song at all. So in my head, that's what they sound like. Maybe that's my problem.
I mean, that's kind of like the Kiss problem. I feel like I don't know, dude, Gardenia and stuff, like certain songs like that kind of set those bands, and it kind of sucks.
That's the danger of having like a big hit, right?
Yeah,
you get. It may be like super different from everything else you sound like, but that's what people think you sound like. So,
bro, but no one knows.
You make a lot of money.
No one knows Queens of the Stone Age.
I think that's the one. I think that's the one I hate.
Really?
Well, you're wrong.
Interesting.
Okay, I'll accept it. I just don't get it. But yeah, I guess we can get if that's the last of the general thoughts. We can start to get a little more specific. I got some notes. Jordan, you want to start us off?
Did you say Pacific?
Do I want to start you off?
Yeah,
Jordan,
enthusiastic. I just wanted to.
Please tell us.
You don't have to.
Extensive opinions about this genre that you've never been a fan of.
Yeah, we figured we'd let you do the heavy lifting this one. We're just gonna kind of ride the sideline.
Well, my favorite song was "Yeah" by far, and I think it's clear why.
That was like the 30-second interlude kind of thing?
He goes, "Yeah, yeah,
yeah." Oh, that's when it's like, yeah.
Featuring Kendrick Lamar.
I think. Well, okay. First of all these were intense. I like the intensity. Again, I just don't think I like the.
See. Yeah.
The what? What were you gonna say?
I figured that would be something, because you mentioned the distortion guitar at the top, but like that was something that you've highlighted in the past that you like. So I figured you would like kind of the aggressiveness of it.
I don't know why it didn't play out here this time for some reason. I didn't love the distortion this time.
Weird. So you like certain kind. You don't like fuzz. You like overdrive.
I think I do. I think I like a lot more. What's it called? I'm trying to think of the word. It's like it's not like pronounced, but it's like. Wow, I'm having a hard time thinking of this word. It's like.
Oh.
Everybody
Pull
cheer
up a
him on.
thesaurus if you need it.
Wait,
yeah.
hold on. Go Jordan.
It's not more like dramatic, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like not just like like someone strumming on a guitar and that being distorted. Sorry, I couldn't think of anything. That was the closest thing I could think of. But yeah. So I liked the intensity. Again, the distortion wasn't the best, but I was gonna say I think one of the songs I did like because of the dude, I don't know why I don't know why I'm brain farting so much. One of the songs I did like because of the intensity is I think Family Van a lot, when he just says like, I know one time he just says like motherfucker really loud. He's like, come here, you motherfucker. I'm like, okay, that's
Yeah. I think Family Van and it's weird. That one is one of my favorites on the album,
Yeah.
and then the other strong contender in the complete opposite direction is 2008 for me.
interesting.
But yeah, I like that in Family Van a lot. The last minute of it specifically,
Yeah.
like it's like everything's just coming to like a boiling point. And
Yeah.
it's just like
That's why I liked it a lot. It was I think that one, the intensity did it right because
yeah.
the vocals I think were a little more prominent than the distortion of the guitar, but the distortion of the guitar is prevalent in a lot of these songs though. That's like the first thing I noticed whenever I like it literally starts it out right when the album starts. So
Yeah.
it's hard to miss it.
And
So did you like towards the end of it where it was a lot cleaner tones, or
like 2008.
did you like 2008 and stuff like that, or did you prefer like the just thick fuzz heavy distortion?
I think I preferred that more just because I don't listen to a lot of rock as it is. And I don't love rock as it is, so going away from that sound is better for me. Like the less it sounds like rock, Hunter, I know you're new. I don't love rock.
I could tell.
Just to put that out there. It's like, again, just it being less, it being different from rock is good for me as far as if I like it or not. So I think that's why I liked. I think that's why I liked Family Van so much, is because it was more. It's not like scream. It's not like close to screamo, but it was like I could see someone being very intense on stage, like performing this, and just like a mosh pit being like in the crowd, like motherfucker, just like screaming into the microphone. Whereas like you're right, the ones towards the end of the album are more not like easygoing, because I don't think that's the word to call them in comparison, but
Comparatively, yeah.
Yeah, but they're still pretty intense, but still very slower, I guess.
I gotcha.
And like as far as I kind of want to talk about like the lyrical content of this album a lot, because I think that's one of the most important, like, because they definitely put a ton of work into it. And,
yeah.
Really, like the whole theme of their band is like, I mean, obviously you can tell it looks like just from the album cover that they grew up together. And just every single other like single or EP they release, it's been pictures of them with like their eyes crossed out like that. But no, like the actual like lyrical content's like great in my opinion, and the more that I like think about it and listen to it, the more I get into it, because it's very much like, I mean they're like what, 22, 23, something like that.
Yeah, I think 1997 is one of them, so that's what, 23.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so like
24.
That's about the age like we're all at, and it's all about like this whole album, I think, in my opinion, I think it's about growing up and finding yourself and getting rid of a lot of the old, I guess, stigmas and stuff that you've carried from your hometown, and honestly, just becoming your own new person. Which is where I think Great Lakes like ends up with it. But anyway, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Really, I love it, and I think the Drake is also just a great song lyrically. I don't know if anyone wants to talk about that one, but
yeah, I'm trying to think if I don't think I have anything written down for it, but I really that was an interesting one. That was one where it's like their first venue, and it's like him having it, like his high school bully shows up to it, right?
Interesting.
And it's like dealing with like the pressure of I guess like not fully being yourself because of whatever external shit and you've got going on.
And this one really like I mean, like, quite literally, it's about like there's a part where he talks about like double crossing the police department just to prove himself to his friends, but like, and then the chorus says, the same me. Like it's it's basically I mean, this one is not as deep as a lot of the other songs, but it's very much like you said, he's just that's not who he is. He doesn't, but he's having to basically become a fake person, like a lot of people do in high school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, first off, dude, his bully's name was Kyler. So that's not
bruh. That dude gets bullied now.
Unless you're Kyler Murray.
Oh
change your name, bro.
Who's Kyler Murray again?
He's a new up and coming hot shot quarterback. I think he's still with the Cardinals. But he almost took them a ways, but the rest
sounded
of his team
familiar,
sucks,
so I was just making sure.
He was really big as a college quarterback. He was like a huge prospect going out of the draft.
I was gonna say a Kyler would be the person to bully someone. Jokes on them. The entire internet bullies them. So
that's what it is. It's the cycle. It's perpetuated.
Oh, are you calling me out?
Yeah.
Oop.
Nick's a bully.
And I.
But yeah, I speaking of lyrics, I thought because they are Canadian, so there's a lot of Canadian references. I had to learn from Genius, but I thought that the second verse in Victoria Park, which is the first song, and I think it comes back again, maybe it's like the outro or whatever, but I thought that was really funny.
Instagram pyramid scheme is a quick fuck, then you can't leave. So I got beef with my IG feed. This feels full of fucking dummies. High school and lean that order on.
It's now all my friends' dream is a stiff buck. Instagram pyramid scheme. Wow, nice. Instagram pyramid scheme is a quick fuck, then you can leave. So I got beef with my IG feed. It's filled full of fucking dummies that did high school with me. Man, but I thought that shit was hilarious. Calling out like MLM pyramid scheme shit in like a hard rock song is just so funny to me. And very relevant. I mean,
we're coming for you.
I mean, shit. You're either gonna join an MLM or become a CNA or something,
or burn.
So it's what?
Sorry, Yadkin County.
Burn?
I'm just kidding.
What does that?
Jordan runs an MLM.
Yeah, I actually do.
Oh shit! Is it nice?
For listeners who aren't familiar, MLM means multi-level marketing, which is basically a pyramid scheme on Instagram.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
And wait, did you guys have Cutco? People doing Cutco whenever you guys were in high school?
Okay. We had people doing Cutco. We got a guy. Yeah.
Oh, a guy. What's the?
A guy you would not. Well, I don't want to dox anybody. But
did Hunter do it?
Oh no.
No, Hunter did. Hunter was not.
Okay, my bad. Guy. I thought you guys trying to tickle around the fact that.
No, but we had a friend of ours who, upon either our first or second year in college, he became a Cutco guy. He was also going to sell pesticides.
I don't think it's like the worst thing, especially either like early high school or late high school, early college. It's easy to get into that because you want to make money.
But if you're like 25
Yeah.
26. Like, people will hit up Vic and be like, "Hey, girl boss." Like, one, no, and also I don't know you. Yeah, and that's just it's not like they're joining a cult. It's just really funny to see people. I mean, those have been around since like the 70s.
Yeah,
and it's just funny to see them still relevant because people still join them.
Yeah,
it's not as bad as like some pyramid schemes and shit like that, but
yeah,
it's just such a meme at this point, honestly. So yeah, I just thought that was pretty funny because that, like you were saying, I didn't catch that listening to it, and then when I sat down yesterday and like read the lyrics along with the songs, I was like, oh shit, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff like that, and that's why like I think it's similar to the way like rap's done in a lot of ways, especially like Run the Jewels style or like Aesop Rock or something.
Dang,
we just talked about this. I don't know if it was the Mastodon album. I think it was either that or the Strokes because it was recent. But I think maybe Nick made that point of a band we were listening to where you didn't really get the words until you sat down, looked at them.
It was Mastodon.
Was it Mastodon?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I figured because I didn't think that was the case with the Strokes. But yeah, that's like a similar thing where very lyric heavy, but you don't realize it until you really sit down to look at the lyrical content. Which I appreciate because then it's more dimensions to music you enjoy to analyze. So,
and I will say, it's like Doom or any rapper like that, like underground style. Like I said, Aesop Rock's one of my favorites, but that kind of style has always been my favorite, which is one reason that I found this band a lot more interesting than a lot of stuff that's come out lately in the rock genre.
I gotcha.
I need to listen to more Aesop Rock. I really don't know anything by him, but I know a lot of people praise him for his lyricism.
Yeah, it's a lot of people like him. You kind of like him or you don't, but
I gotcha.
That was who you sent in the like the song recommendation Discord channel the other day, right? Yeah, I like that a lot. I didn't check out more of it because I was in the middle of listening to I don't remember what I was listening to, but I also want to check out more of. You said it's just like a guy.
Yeah, just say Aesop. Like he's
okay.
He produces his own stuff and everything. So.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I guess I'll check out his stuff more then, for sure.
But yeah, no, that's why I really like that, and I kind of wish more rock was like that because I feel like I don't know, a lot of the stuff coming out nowadays is so just the same kind of deal. It feels like maybe that's just pop rock is what's big right now. But
yeah,
I don't.
Yeah, I found. Because honestly, until we started this podcast, I really, because doing this for over years, like kind of transformed how I listen to music. I had this like same thought, and it's still there. It's kind of like when I defend Americana and country as a genre. I'm like, you just have to, like, it's an active process to find artists, but typically once you find artists, it works. But you have to actively find like for country. You got to find like the Jason Isbells, the Chris Stapleton.
Oh yeah, country's especially that's definitely one where you have to really look deep.
You have to you have to look for it. But once you find it, I mean, that shit will bring you to tears.
Yeah, like the Florida Georgia Lions.
Yeah, or what's the Rhettnet guy? Thomas Rhett.
Thomas Rhett.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think Thomas Rhett is horrible, dude. He has a good song.
Yeah,
he has a good song.
No. What song?
When I never get to see the northern lights. Die a Happy Man, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You ever heard that song?
That song blew up pretty big.
Maybe I'll check it out.
It's good.
Because Craig's a Thomas Rhett fan.
Nick,
Craig,
you like it?
From forever ago. He's a Thomas Rhett
Thomas Rhett doesn't deserve the same hate that Florida Georgia Line and Blake
100%
Shelton
no.
and
I will
Luke
say
Bryan.
that. I will agree with that.
They don't all.
100%.
He's not on the same level as them. I wouldn't even put. I might drop Luke Bryan down just a little bit, not for the quality of his music, but for what he's gone through in life. His life story is actually like surprisingly sad. But
Luke Bryan?
It is.
But
his music's still bad.
But his music is bad. I don't listen to it. But but Jason Aldean, terrible.
Oh, Jason
so
Aldean.
bad.
She's country sheep. Jason Aldean's definitely in the class of like what popularized the beginning of the end for popular radio country. I think early Jason Aldean, he put an end to like the Billy Curringtons and the other people of the time. And then you've got shit like I mean, She's Country's an excellent one. Jason Aldean's got some more, a lot of Luke Bryan stuff I credit. It came out about that time. Like
Sam
the one
Hunt?
where
Terrible.
Sam Hunt, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's not it, man. It's just not it.
He was a big country songwriter, and now he makes his own music, and like they just shouldn't have let him do that. It's just...
Which it's cool if you want to make different music, but if you want to make pop music, make pop music. Taylor did that.
True.
She was like the Red Album, and then the rest of her career. Like, just do what you want to do.
Bro, All Too Well, banger. Certified banger.
I don't know what that is.
Certified hood classic.
It's one
like
of
I was
Taylor
saying,
Swift's biggest, saddest songs.
Like I was saying all the way at the beginning, though, I think that people in the genre are still putting out. Oh my god!
Yeah, they're putting that out alright.
I just about threw that.
Jamie's putting something out.
There's definitely like the. I think it's in the same vein. Not as drastic, but I mean, there's stuff like I've been listening to Manchester Orchestra's new album, which is half of their discography falls into similar stuff like this, and half of it is just weird indie stuff.
Interesting.
But they're a band I've always loved, and I listened to their new album, and it's crazy lyrically. So it's there. I think you just gotta find it.
I will say Royal Blood also has a new album, and it's a little bit...
I saw that.
It's a little bit more like the Killers, actually, than their others. You know, their older stuff is a lot more like Cleopatrick, but like it's very... I don't know how to put it, but like, you know, the Killers are going more towards like a jazzy pop style. But it's you know, they got backup singers now, and they got more keyboard in it. Really cool. If you like the Killers or anything, I recommend.
Yeah. What was the name of that one? I can see the album cover.
Typhoons, I think.
Cover of it.
I don't know. That's one of the tracks on it.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Oblivion, maybe.
I think I saved a few songs off of there. Yeah, it's called Typhoons. I got it on Spotify.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I liked a few songs off of there. And yeah, it is interesting to see how they're just kind of, listening to that versus, you know, their first out, like listening to Out of the Black or Figure It Out or something like that. So different.
Completely.
Like insanely different. And I guess, you know, you gotta stay interested in music somehow, right?
And that's why, like, I'm kind of interested to see what Cleopatrick does, because if they're, you know, seeing Royal Blood go more towards a Killers vibe is actually really cool for me, and maybe Cleopatrick's going to go more toward like a harder vibe or something, you know.
We'll see.
We'll see. Who knows?
They got time. They've only put out one album. So,
you know. And they're young as hell. So,
and I think they do their own publishing and everything. So if they want to do something different, they have the full ability to do so.
Yeah, that was something I noted. Respect to them for having. I'm not sure if it's their own label or if they just don't have a label and they make their own. Well, they publish their own stuff, like you said, Jamie. But that's always an admirable feat.
Yeah. And
who was it that did all the mixing for their album and shit too? That was crazy. Was it? Crazy. It wasn't Sam's Town, was it?
Vista Kicks, like, produced all their own stuff.
Yeah.
That's what Adam brought.
And that shit was crazy.
Yeah.
Here they wrote, recorded, and then edited, mixed, and produced and put out. Insane.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
Yeah. And you know, that's what I thought was cool, like the live stream as well that they did. I recommend going back and watching that if you want to. They got like some funny stuff, but as well as like almost like an album video, you know. It's really cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw when I was reading about the songs on Genius how like a lot of them were announced as like they would just show up. Like one of them I think was just played on a radio station in Canada, and that's how it dropped.
Oh, really?
It was just like, oh hey, this is on the radio now. Yeah, and then I saw that they also do stuff like I don't know. It's cool to see bands do modern things like incorporating different aspects of social media in not like super cringy ways. And yeah, so seeing like live album drops and shit like that, that's always cool to me too.
Oh yeah, and they have a huge social media presence. People like DM them and stuff. I saw on their I forgot where I saw it. It was like just like a random Twitter post, but somebody's showed a DM they sent to them. They're like, "Hey, what do you use to get like such a big sound from just a little ass guitar?" And he's like, and he just like told him like straight up like, "Oh yeah, I have one amp that does like the clean guitar sound, and then I have one amp that I just put a shit ton of effects on." And you know, that's how Royal Blood does it too. But it's really cool that they're open about it, unlike Royal Blood. you know.
Yeah, and I always like that. I always like that way more, like the transparency aspect of it, because it's like, I mean, you could do all the effects you want, but it's really hard unless you're literally the person with the exact same influences and exact same like tonal ear. You can't really like mimic someone. Like you hear sound alikes, but it's really hard to like mimic someone. So I always like that whenever I see people. Like one of my favorite things, I fell off for a while. I've been getting on different YouTube kicks, but one of the rabbit holes I used to get on would be like the rig rundown the Premier Guitar does.
Oh yeah,
like Dan Auerbach and Jason Isbell. Like I love that shit because it's cool. I mean, it's just really cool to see people be open and transparent, and it adds to like music in essence is like a communal thing, and I feel like if you're not as transparent, then it's kind of like not in the spirit of what you're doing. As a profession, you know, so I always really enjoy.
Yeah, like why not inspire new artists and young artists? Right. But shameless plug, 40th time, Royal Blood has an episode of that as well. Anyway,
okay,
rig rundown, yeah. But anyway, like it's really cool. I think I really agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, and also. It's at the end of the day, if you want to look at it from a selfish business standpoint, like the more you interact with people, the more engagement you're going to get, and then you make more money. So like I literally see no downside to it.
Yeah,
only upsides. But I guess getting back specifically to this album, my brain just went blank. Oh my god, it's been a long 2 days. So I like, and I think it was the lead single. Like I'd mentioned, it's got like 3 million streams. But "Good Grief," the song on it, I love how just the riff. I mean, there's a lot of really good riffs on here and a lot of good just bass tracks musically. But that one with the way that the drum is structured in it, the percussiveness of it, and then that riff, it just feels so like driving to me. Like it just feels. Feels like it's moving. You know, and I always really enjoy that, and so that one was a big highlight for me. Is just like how good that riff and drumline feel for the whole song.
Yeah, and that's exactly. That's the kind of feel that I get from a majority of their music. Something just like the syncopation, that drive that like you're talking about, is just really bumping that in the car, man. I don't know, I love that.
Yeah, for sure, and it's kind of why I also like a lot of like Highly Suspect, like on like the entire Mr. Asylum. It's like you don't have to like. It's cool to hear really intricate stuff, but if you know how to use what you have, then I mean, if you just have a really good rhythm, that's really all it takes to really just kind of get it going for me. And no,
I was saying there's I feel bad I keep talking so much, but I will say there is something to say about like the simplicity of like he just has a guitar. He's not working with 3 different instruments here. He has drums, guitar, and his voice. So there's a lot of creativity that you have to do that kind of thing, I feel like.
Yeah, it definitely stuff like that. And I've heard I mean, even like just super professional musicians, it's like the less you have, you still, if you are a musician, you have the drive to create. So like the less you have, the more creative it kind of forces you to be. And so I could definitely see that. I mean, and this is clearly 2 people who just enjoy what they do and know how to use what they have. Like, I mean, Stevie Ray Vaughan, the reason he was so good at guitar was because he would lock himself in his room with just a guitar and an amp to escape his dad and shit. And it's like, that's an extreme example of like a horrific struggle. But yeah, it's cool to see what a lack of resources musically can really just kind of make you branch out and do. Yeah, so I mean, and it made them really write a hell of a rhythm and just, know how to use what they have. But No Sweat, speaking of that song, not speaking of it, I just brought it up. But that one does the thing that I've talked about time and time again that's just so insane. And the more I listen to, is it Keynotes or Footnotes? Cole's new podcast. The more I listen to it, I feel like I'm more adept at understanding what it is. But just in No Sweat, where there's that cutout and then they drop back in at the start of the choruses to it, I fuck with that so much. Like, I don't think that song's my favorite on the album, but element-wise, that's some of my favorite shit on this album. I love it. Every time. Everyone should always do that. I mean, it's like what makes a bass drop so good in dubstep. It's just like, I don't know, mentally pleasing.
Speaker.
Yeah, blow out a speaker, get it rattling,
I kind of got those vibes.
Get her buzzing, come on.
Get that little titty going, zzz,
You say get that little titty going?
No, the tweeter going.
Oh yeah, the tweeter. I know what that is now.
Yeah, after our senior project.
After being carried on the backs of my peers.
Go Wolfpack. Team 23.
Jordan,
let's go.
future employers, you didn't hear that. Jordan.
That's what I was gonna say.
To the project.
Anybody trying to hire me, I did my part.
Bro, it's okay.
I bought
our
us
listeners
components,
are
okay.
Our listeners are David and Nicole's fans, so you're good, dude. You're good. Yeah, and drum wise, I talked about it on Good Grief, but in there's no way. Let me double check the name of the song. There's no way this is the name of it. I'm sure I fucked this up.
No, you're probably good. Go ahead, say it.
No, that's what it is. But Pepper's Ghost, I really liked the drum, like just the drum intro. That goes into the first verse. I really liked that. That was because the rest of the album has been, up until this point, to me, was very guitar centric and very guitar heavy. So I really enjoyed just the drum itself, and hearing that kind of have a little bit more of a like being on display a little more. I like that a lot. Because I don't know, I feel like in some spaces, drums are very utilized, but I feel like they could be more present.
Yeah, I do like drums a lot too.
I mean, it's like hip hop is structured around 808s, which is a synthesized version of a bass drum.
It's like, in the night I hear him talk, the coldest story ever told. Somewhere far along the road. Dude, that song is so good. I've been jamming
it is good. 808s and Heartbreaks. Excellent example.
Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, and so that's
blow
something
out
that
the listener speaker.
I don't love metal music, but one thing I really like about metal is how insane the drummers go.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, definitely, dude.
Like double kick bass fills while you're just like going crazy, like System of a Down and shit like that. It's crazy. I love it.
No, I mean, there's even techniques that were invented by like metal drummers. Like the old AF7X drummer invented. I believe it was called, like, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but like the double octopus or something stupid, but like absolutely apparently like one of the hardest things to do.
Y'all ever done a double octopus before?
Yeah, but like I see what you mean, and that's this band, like I wish they did have a little bit more of it, but they do have a little bit of electronic drums in there, which is really nice. And Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's one reason I've been really big into Glass Animals lately, and going through a lot of their old stuff is because of the wonderful
Glass Animals,
wonderful just electronic drums in just every album. I am seeing them live, by the way, September.
Where?
Charlotte, I believe.
Fuck, dude, I want to see them at Red Rocks so bad, but tickets are absurdly expensive. Damn. Like GA is like $300.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It's fucking crazy. But
dude,
I love Glass Animals so fucking much.
So does everyone else.
$60 tickets, and we got them like 8 months early. So
dang,
crazy price.
Dude, I'm gonna drop stupid amounts of money on live music once I like have a job and can afford to do so.
Oh yeah, me too, man.
It's crazy how much money I'm about to spend on music. But yeah, Glass Animals. of all the people that I was sad to not get to see at Bonnaroo this year, because it's an incredible lineup. Well, we've gone through that in the past, I don't need to bring it up again. But it might be a perfect lineup for me. But Glass Animals, even though they weren't any sort of headliner. They weren't even like top billing. They were like mid-tier billing. But I was like, this is the show. I will miss anything else on this list to see them.
Oh yeah, no,
except Run the Jewels maybe. But that was the whole thing.
Jason Isbell.
But yeah, I mean, Glass Animals is like insane how good their rhythms are. And just, I think, everything overall. But yeah, like Dreamland to me, I mean, we did it in the past with Vic. I gave it a 10. I can't believe I gave How to Be a Human Being a 9. That should also be a 10. I don't know what I was thinking.
That's what I'm saying.
That's my favorite.
In November
album.
2020.
I think Zaba's a little bit underrated, but also really like.
It is underrated, like, but you definitely have to be in a mood for it.
Yeah.
Like Zaba's a weird forest with. There's like weird. It's like, did someone kill someone in this? But that's a whole thing. We might get to that sometime. But yeah, like Heat Waves, incredible rhythm wise. I still listen to that song almost daily since it came out. Like since the album came
daily.
out. Yeah, dude, I listen to that song all the time.
We'll see that Spotify yearly Wrapped and see if that's true, bro.
It wasn't for that. I think Peach Pit probably was the top of my 2020. But this year, it's definitely a contender for top 3. I listen to a lot of songs daily, believe it or not. But yeah, Glass Animals, fuck, I love it. And you're right. I mean, they nail that. Like, it doesn't have to be the craziest rhythm, but as long as it's prominent drum and it fits where it needs to be, chef's kiss.
I heard Thundercat talk about that one time, talking about the importance of feel in music. And how you really only understand the feel of what you make after you play for hours and hours and hours, and how once you master and like not even master, once you understand the importance of feel and you're able to utilize it, like it's almost like you just channel like catchy, important things in your music.
So this is what I love about music. Music is math. And there are mathematical explanations for music. But at the same time, you could know nothing. And that's what music theory is, right? But at the same time, you can know nothing about music theory, but you can still play music. I think it's... Dave Grohl definitely doesn't know how to read music.
That's like Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney doesn't know how to read any music.
Yeah, and that man has written some of the best melodies and rhythms ever. If I had to choose a member of the Beatles... to just exist versus the other ones, it'd be Paul McCartney. I mean, really. I mean, George Harrison's good.
I was going to say him or George Harrison
right now, bro.
Because the part of music, it
not being true.
You don't need to know the math behind it because it's also at the same time there's mathematical explanations, but it's just like at its essence, music is just what you feel. And
that's dude.
Yeah, and so it's definitely. And have you guys seen Soul?
Yeah.
No, I need to.
Talks about it. Go to that place when you understand the feel of music. That's what you need, because you can hear someone, and the same person can learn to play a famous riff. Like Black Dog, I think, is the biggest one by Led Zeppelin, because you can learn to play it how it would be written down, but it's in a very weird rhythm compared to everything else in the song. So then, if you listen to someone play along with it, that's how That's how you can tell if it's someone who can feel what they're playing versus just knowing what notes to play in what order. Because a lot of it is dependent on, can you feel when you should be at like a quarter of a beat before the drum part of it. Yeah, so I mean, and shit like that it's very prominent. There's a lot of riffs like that you can tell if someone knows what they're doing and feels versus if they just know how to put their fingers in a certain way on a guitar because, I don't know, some very famous musicians were very sloppy with their timing. So when you try to play along with it, you have to understand how what you're playing fits into the overall sound versus what the correct way to play it is.
Yeah. I agree with that. And I think a huge thing also is like, you were saying it earlier, and I was hoping you were going to go more into it, but like drum players, just drums in general. Like if you have a bad drum player, but you have the best everything else in your band, like let's say like you had, like the Vultures lineup, but Dave Grohl broke his arms instead of his legs and he's out, right? Like
Right.
It's gonna sound like shit, like it's no matter what, right. It's gonna sound bad. And if you have a great drummer though, but everything else sucks, at least live you're gonna sound great. Just because like right. People can move to drums and stuff a lot better than they can move to like just noises they're hearing from like a guitar, because it's like
I mean
and that's same thing with rap, like we were saying as well. That's why
some sort of primal thing there. Psychologically I want to know what more of that is, but yeah, maybe it's all because we all just want to be safe and it's our mother's heartbeat when we're in the womb,
yeah, exactly.
What?
No, Nick, don't make that face. That made perfect sense. I am a psychologist.
Really, what'd you get in philosophy, my guy? Huh?
Philosophy is not psychology.
Different thing.
Oh. Different things. Oh. But we're not going to talk about
my mom's heartbeat was a monster. Kanye West, bro.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and I mean that's like how fucking EDM exists.
Yeah.
It's just rhythm. There's some melody to it, depending on who you listen to. But at its core essence, it's that drum beat. And if you don't have a good rhythm section, which is why drum and bass are often overlooked, they deserve more recognition for what they are.
Oh yeah.
If you don't have that, then it's like you're missing the foundation of a house. You're just building walls on a fucking pile of dirt.
Exactly.
There's no point.
That, brother.
There's no point.
The great Tom York once said, "Melody is dead." No, he said, "Guitar is dead, rhythm is king," and that's when Radiohead made Kid A their
everyone's favorite album.
Every human's favorite album. Yes.
Every human.
It's a very strange album.
I want to make the pilgrimage, the Radiohead pilgrimage sometime, but I think I need Cole to prime me for it. So I gotta listen to this week's episode.
Do it.
And I think I'm ready to embark.
Yeah. It made me appreciate some of the songs by them that I don't like as much as their other stuff. But I'm not like an experimental music guy for the most part, but I can appreciate when I can listen to something and go, okay, I see what they were going for. Yeah. Uh-huh. Their Hail to the Thief album I like more after listening to the podcast. And
what's the Rainbow Fishes one?
In Rainbows?
Yes.
Yeah. Which has a song on it called Weird Fishes. But yeah, that's probably my favorite album by them. But it's good. That one.
It's got the worst album cover.
I don't know. Amnesiac's pretty bad. Amnesiac's probably the worst album with the worst album cover.
In Rainbows, why are we becoming a Radiohead podcast? We haven't even listened to them.
I don't know the last time I brought them up by myself until right now. Like usually,
you've got a reputation though.
Gross albums, man. Load by Metallica.
Load?
I'm unfamiliar. Zach would understand that. I do not understand that.
Oh, do you know Piss Christ, man? You know Piss Christ.
Did you say Piss Christ?
Yeah, everybody knows Piss Christ. It's a famous it's an artist made it. It's Piss Christ. Well, he made
okay, well now I gotta know Piss
just
Christ.
Google it. It's just Christ in a jar of piss. It's what you think It's what you think. But the same artist made Metallica's 1996 classic Load, and it's just bull semen and blood, I think.
Oh, fuck.
Or maybe it's
like
his semen.
Life?
Maybe it's his semen. Yeah, no, it's really. I mean, look it up. Load. It's a great.
No, I'm looking at the album cover. That's not like. That's like he like took a picture of bull semen and blood.
It may be his own semen. I really don't know.
Oh god.
But yeah,
bull semen.
Piss Christ as well. But yeah, no, that's a. I don't know if we're talking about gross album covers. I was just bringing that up. But
Piss Christ is an image from Andres Serrano.
Yeah.
From 1986.
Yeah.
He didn't intend for his photograph of a crucifix submerged in his own urine to offend. Indeed, when it was first displayed in galleries, no one protested. But in 1989, after it was exhibited in Virginia, it attracted the attention of an outspoken pastor and soon after of Congress. That's insane.
That's
How have I not known about Piss Christ?
Dude, visual arts at UNCC, man.
Piss Christ is going to be the new mascot of this podcast.
That's incredible. Piss Christ is
too controversial, Nick.
That's the new profile picture. New PFP. It's Piss Christ.
Yeah, dude.
Just the title of the piece is Immersions, but it's a crucifix submerged in either old or really dehydrated pee.
Oh, it's probably both. Knowing that guy, but yeah, James Hetfield thought great idea. We shouldn't let him come and bleed for our next album.
That's so fucking weird.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude.
That's odd. What the fuck?
I've never listened to that album, but I've listened to like 2 songs off of Saint Anger. Not a fan. Probably the worst.
Now I gotta listen to that
Metallica I've
album.
heard.
Now that I know it's steaming in blood.
Now that you know it's based.
Yeah, based album cover.
Not based.
Blood semen. But back to what we were talking about before. This album.
Oh, sorry. Last thing I will say. The next album they made was also by the same guy, and it's bovine blood and his own urine that time. Anyway.
Bro, you gotta stop with the blood in the bodily fluids. What the fuck's going on,
dude.
guys? Come on.
I'm sorry.
Come on. What the fuck?
All right.
What the fuck?
All right.
But 2008, probably the least metal song on this album. I really enjoyed it. It's a strong contender for my favorite on the album.
Oh yeah.
I thought
it was one of like 3 or 4 that I saved to my library. I loved how. I mean, I guess they're all sparse. They're all just 2 instruments, from what I could gather. But I liked the it just kind of the less distorted guitar in the background, and then the somehow the way that he delivered the lyrics on it with the heavy. I guess it's different distortion, but it's still kind of decently thick distortion, but a slower playing style. It kind of just the whole song built tension for me the entire time. Mm-hmm. Like it was just I was sitting there on like the edge of my seat, listening to it. Like, okay, where's this going? Where's this going?
And what I meant to say, things ain't really been the same since like 2008. And though I can't convey all the ways you've changed, I'm trying anyway for my own sake.
And then it kind of rolls into that, like, there's just the, like, build later on in the song. And I like it, but also he's a pretty good vocalist, and that note that he holds out right before the last chorus is just like awesome. I think it fits in the song beautifully, and I really like. It just sounds really good to me. Like listening to the song, I hit there and go, "Damn, that's heavy." like that kind of music, so it definitely worked for me. Not having the same. I mean, it's still angry and it still builds tension, but it's
not
different.
It's not aggressive
expression. Yeah, it's not aggressive. Right, right.
I thought it sounded almost like an Eden song.
And yeah, I was here for it. I liked it.
Like Eden, like Zach got us to listen to a while back.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's a listener. If you haven't heard it, we talked about
I Think You Think Too Much of Me.
I don't remember the name of it. I Think You Think Too Much of Me by Eden. It was episode.
You're welcome, Zach.
32, featuring Zach. Shout out to Zach. Okay, I could see that. I mean, I like that more than I think anything I've heard by Eden. But
ouch,
Eden's got some good songs.
Sorry,
you know, I don't love the guy.
Beats,
you know, sorry beats, Skeeto.
I do.
That's beauty music.
I really like what you said though about how it just feels like you're on the edge of the seat the whole time, because it is. You know, I didn't really know how to describe it, but yeah, no, it's almost like I'm anxious when I'm listening to it, and it's called 2008, so I assume it's kind of like a flashback kind of thing. You know, like just talking about his past.
Yeah, if he was born in 97, he would have been like 11 or something. So I assume it's something with middle school around that time.
Yeah, right? Something like
early middle school.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah, and the song is it seems to be just very much about how he thinks someone doesn't care about him. So who knows who it's really about? But it's I think that's a kind of a there's a reason to feel anxious. And I think that it's a very well portrayed trait, and the fact that he picked up on that song is really cool, because I think that's what he meant, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and like the main line, it's in the chorus and verses, and it's also in the outro, basically. But it's like, if you give a fuck, just let me know. So it definitely, I think, for sure, like that's what they were going for. And you're right, I think they nailed it too. That's one of the instances where like the lyricism really fit with the delivery. Like you were saying, it's like a third instrument. You know, like it fit into the soundscape really well. And I really liked it. Yeah. And then just the intro to Great Lakes. I didn't like love the song. That's the last song on the album. It's kind of what they wrap up with. Great Lakes, I assume they're from the part of Canada that's near, maybe Toronto, Ontario, somewhere around there. Near the Great Lakes themselves. But I think the intro is a really cool follow-up to how, not chill, but like lower as far as density sound-wise goes with 2008. I thought that the intro into Great Lakes was a really, it's different. It's a change of pace, but I kind of like welcomed it.
And so I'm told this how it goes. Yeah, you're gonna get old before you know. You'll be stuck fucking cold.
And then I really like the final breakdown of Great Lakes. I listened to the song, I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. But then in the final breakdown, you can like really feel just the like pain and desperation of what he's saying, what the music's doing. That's another instance where I think they nailed what they were, I assume, what they were going for. I think it's really well done, and it's a really interesting end to the album. It's just ending it on like a fucking just painful note. I thought that was pretty cool.
I also enjoyed how it's a very lyrics wise, it is a very repetitive song in terms of like it's the same. Besides like the couple of verses that change, it is the same chorus exactly, basically 3 times, and it's delivered differently though each time, and yeah, the guitar ends up and the drums and everything ends up becoming a lot more almost like it's driving that point home, and it's almost like he himself is seeing what he's saying differently, is what I like to think about with this. Especially with like how he's kind of just like he says maybe a lot, and he's like guessing himself, and I don't know. I like I said, this song, I mean, this whole album really resonates with me just because it's this. I'm in that same kind of time period in my life where I am trying to figure myself out more.
You little angsty, little angsty,
silly,
little angsty boy, little. Yeah, because it ends with the breakdown. The lyrics of it are, but maybe I'm an asshole, maybe I'm a faker, maybe I'm too bashful, but I can't seem to shake the feeling that my friends ain't with me past the Great Lakes. Back me up for fuck's sake, I'm begging. And then they repeats that again, and just with like the instrumentation of it's going crazy. I'm like, man, this guy is feeling some shit right now. It's the whole idea is like, my friends aren't with me past the Great Lakes. Like I said, they're from Canada, so then that would mean like, they're not with me past leaving, the city where we're all hanging out comfortable when the shit hits the road or the fan,
Yeah, it's like you don't.
Who's with me? It's not my friend.
He doesn't have real friends by his side. Yeah, exactly, and
no new friends.
I think a lot of people go through that. They realize who's their real friends and who aren't at some point.
I mean that's kind of, especially, at least I don't know about you guys, but I definitely had that, going to college. It's not necessarily like who were like fake friends, but it's doing something like that really triaged, I guess, not necessarily real friends, but just who is in the like longevity stage of relationships versus just like you're friends because you're in high school, and you're not friends because you're in high school, but at every stage in life it's like you're friends with people in certain time constraints, but then it's like whenever you move on, you can really see who, for better or for worse, just kind of has the like staying power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I guess would be the best way to say that. Like, who is gonna like matter to you 10 years from now? Which is it's weird to think of people like that, but I mean that's just kind of a universal thing that people have. Like, how many people are? I've got Zach as a friend still, and that's like kindergarten. But other than that, I mean, the friends I have now, like the oldest one's like middle school, for the most part. But yeah, so I mean, I could definitely see that, and I think that's where this album resonates with a lot of people. Like reading the comments on Genius and stuff, a lot of people who seem to really engage with the album and really like fuck with it heavy are kind of like you were saying. You like you're in that stage of I guess that transitory period, like the last year either in high school going into college, or the last year of college going into whatever life is outside of that, the weird nebulous state of it. And I think they nailed that, like song and song again throughout the whole thing. Like I didn't love it, but I think it's because it's not for me necessarily 100%, yeah, I mean I can see that for sure.
I agree though. I think it's great how raw the album is. It's very just this is what we are. There's no sugarcoating it with like I don't know, like overly distorted effects. I think you can or there's no like auto tuning or dumb stuff like that when there doesn't need to be. It's very raw.
Yeah, and I think that it would be weird if it wasn't as well, right? Like it'd be weird if it was super post produced and everything.
Oh yeah, it just wouldn't have that same
I think
feel.
The brand, quote unquote, that they're putting out with this, I think, is like exactly what it should be, for sure. So that's the end of my specific notes. Do you guys have other stuff you wanted to get off your chest before we rate it?
I think I'm done.
I'm all good.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Hunter, you got any final thoughts? Okay, fine. All right, then I guess we can rate it and Hunter, you chose it. You get to go first with a rating. Then either me and Jordan will go, because this is the conclusion of our, I guess, longer than a month, our extended guest spot. We're not going to be moving back in for the at least for now, back into the me, Nick, and Jordan.
Classic.
So Nick will get to go last. Yeah, Nick will get to go last and choose an album. But yeah, so Hunter and then me or Jordan and Nick will go. So Hunter, what are you going to give this out of 10?
Well, I thought about it a lot, honestly. I've been honestly thinking about it like the whole podcast, especially with all the points brought up. And, out of all the albums I've listened to so far this year, rock-wise, I'd give it a solid maybe 8.5. I don't say it's like my perfect album or anything, but it's definitely one of the better ones that I've heard this year. That's for sure.
So, did you say 8?
Yeah.
Or
I'd say 8.5.
You have to choose.
8.5.
Okay,
I'll give that.
I'll put you in Excel. You have an 8.5. So.
All right.
Jordan, are you ready, or do you want me to go? Because I can go. He's yawning. I'll go. I was gonna give it a 5.8 because, like I said, I saved some songs from this, but the repetitiveness that Jordan mentioned, I even like this kind of music, and I don't know, some like especially the middle part of the album, it felt a little mentally similar to me, but I think overall though I'll give it a 6. I was going to give it a 5.8, but our discussion made me realize I like it a little bit more. So I'll rock with a flat 6.
Interesting.
Eric, Jordan, you're up to bat. What are you going to give it?
I'll give this one a hot 4. I don't think it comes as any surprise based on the music that I listen to.
That's not the bottom of the genre.
I expected less, honestly.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
A typical reaction. Nick, what about you? What are you gonna give it?
I didn't love a ton of songs on it, but I did like a few. I'm gonna give it a 4.6.
4.6. Okay, so. Oh, sorry. Hang on, my Excel thing. I sorted it really weird. Okay, so you said 4.6.
Yes, sir.
All right, so then that brings, average-wise, that brings us to a 5.78, which puts it at 52nd. I feel like that's a little lower than it should be, but whatever. It is what it is.
I kind of skewed that.
We're unbiased here. We're unbiased.
I'll be polite, but I have to be honest.
We're unbiased. We're honest here. Somehow that puts it below Find the Beat, which is tied with our first episode, Both Sides Now, for number 50 overall by Willie Nelson. Interesting that those have wound up together, but it puts it above Meet the Woo 2 by Pop Smoke as far as rankings go. So
I give it 0.
It puts it well above Chef G with Chef One G. And Only. So
Chef G's got to be the lowest. Has to be.
Oh.
I will say, I am surprised that you guys liked it so much. Because this really was, whenever I brought up the idea to Jamie, I was like expecting pretty much everybody to dump on it. I'll be honest, just because it is that kind of like you have to be into it to be into it. It's kind of it's experimental. In a way, it's a lot of new stuff, and I'm just surprised you guys liked as much as you did.
Well, there you go. It's better than Chef G, Pop Smoke, and Blueface are the bottom 3.
Oh, Blueface.
There you go. So then,
wait,
Nick,
I thought you said Blueface was one higher than this.
Find the Beat is one higher. Dirtbag is second from the bottom. All right. So then, Nick, you get to start us off again with the trio, the threesome, the classic threesome.
Yeah, I kind of went.
What are we going to be listening to next?
I kind of went through a wild range of choices. I almost picked Brockhampton's newest album. Not gonna do it.
Okay. Wow. That would have.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
It is.
Almost picked one of Wilco's most commercially accessible albums because they get kind of crazy on some albums.
That is very different.
But
yeah.
Decided not to do that. I think we're gonna do "Of the Blue Color of the Sky" by OK Go.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Go.
But I
Nope.
I know
Made that joke
Jordan
first.
likes them a lot, and I don't know how familiar he is with this album, but I feel like it'll.
What did you say the title was? It was really long. What was it? I didn't type it all out.
Oh wait. Let me make sure I get it right because it is strange. It's
No, it is it's of the blue color.
yeah, of the blue
sky.
color of the sky, and color is spelled
You said it right, you said it right.
COLOUR.
By the way,
Color.
great band, great music videos.
I don't think I've ever heard a song
Thank you,
off this
thank you.
album, Nick.
It's the one that the Rube Goldberg Machine video. This too shall pass.
Okay.
That song's on it. We'll get into it next week. You know, Needing Getting, one of my favorite songs by them, is on it. The one that they make the music video with the car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm good too.
Interesting. That is definitely going to be a departure from what we've been recently.
I feel like
listening to.
it'll kick us off on a good foot. You know, us three back at it on the grind. We'll have a grand old
It's weird.
time.
I've already got my next 2 picks picked out.
Impressive.
I've been kind of, I've enjoyed, it's fun having guests here, but it's been literally like months since it's been the 3 of us. So, I'm kind of interested to get back to it.
True.
See if we still got it or if we just suck now. We'll see.
We're terrible.
Yeah, so I guess
never be good
then with that we'll round it out to what we've all been listening to this week, right? Little recent listenings.
Little Reese.
Yeah, so
I'll go ahead and go.
Anyone want to go first? Okay.
So, do you guys know who Sleater Kinney is?
Nope.
No, I do not.
They're a punk band from like the early 2000s, and they've released a couple albums over the past few years. Carrie Brownstein, one half of the show Portlandia, she's like one of the main people in it. I got strangely into them this week because I found their new Tiny Desk concert. It was good. Of course, Tyler the Creator, His Golden Messenger, some John Prine, a little Rilo Kiley, and some Sam Weber, who's a frequent Bahamas collaborator. But that's about it. Jamie's gone. Jamie's dead.
Jameson Winston.
Jordan, why don't you go ahead and go?
I think I have only been listening to Fabio Foreign a lot. I haven't really listened to a lot of new songs this week. This week's been kind of a slower week as far as music goes, but I've been listening to that. Still listening to Good For You by Olivia Rodrigo.
Hell yes.
Rodriguez? Is it Rodriguez? Rodrigo. That's what it is.
Rodrigo.
And then all the songs that I've just been listening to before, like Outside, where I can say, I ain't pray for these baguettes, I pray for better days. I ain't pray for that new vet. But yeah, other than that, just same old.
Gotcha. What about you, Hunter?
I've been listening to a lot of like a lot of old and new, I guess. I've been listening to a lot like A Tribe Called Quest a lot. You know, the classics.
Hell yeah.
Obviously the new Tyler album, new Aesop Rock album, then just random stuff. Impressively enough, a Mike Shinoda song is at the top of my songs right now. So I guess that.
Nice.
Wait, who did you say?
But yeah, pretty much it for me. Mike Shinoda.
Mike Shinoda.
I don't know who that is.
Linkin Park guy. He did the keys and rapping for them.
You don't know the Shinodester, bro?
I don't think so. Strange.
Hey man, it's Fort Minor.
Yeah, Fort Minor. It's 20% luck.
10%
Yeah, banger. Where'd you go? Fuck, dude. Takes me back. Like, used to listen to that shit on Pandora. Used to listen to Fort Minor radio on Pandora.
A random Him and the singer of Deftones, Chino Marino, put out a song recently, so I was like, I'll try that. Wasn't great, but you know.
It happens. You know, they can't all be hits.
Sometimes
you just gotta practice.
Yep.
Nose to the grind. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, nose to the grindstone.
Out of the pills?
Stay out of them pills. Yeah. Speaking of, with my recent listenings, but let's do a lot of Tyler Childers this week.
Let's go.
Nice. But weirdly enough, not like what I normally listen to by him, which is Nose to the Grindstone. His it's not
Our
a Spotify single, but like
sessions?
it's yeah. But I've been listening to a lot of his first album, Bottles and Bibles. Like King Cole, Hard Times, shit like that. Still listening to Planet Her and Call Me If You Get Lost, both heaters of albums. Different moods, but you know, nice. They have their place. It's funny that you mentioned you almost chose Brockhampton's newest album. I listened to that last time I was in the gym. I was listening to that.
I didn't know they came out with a deluxe version of it. There's like a version with 4 extra songs now, and I listened to them last night.
Oh shit, I didn't see that. I gotta check that out. I think David was a big fan of the album.
I've been very indifferent about that.
Oh really? I think that's kind of not just you as far as reception of the album. From what I can tell, it's not like an isolated opinion.
I thought it was really good.
I think it's really good. I did too, but I know that I could see points made that kind of detracted from it. Kind of like how people thought the same thing about Endgame. But rounding out what I've been listening to, probably in like the last 4 days, it was on my Discover Weekly this week, and it's a fucking incredible song, and I love it. It's Holy Smokes by Anna Bates. It's like the Weed Jesus song on TikTok, where it's her playing a guitar in a bucket hat. Incredible voice. Just, I'm always astounded hearing people who aren't like super voice corrected and just showing up on like TikTok and shit. I'm like, that's insane talent. But that song's great. I'm trying to figure out how to learn to play it, because she has a TikTok with it, but I don't think it's standard tuning, and I can't fucking figure out what it is. Yeah, and then just kind of a bunch of like indie alt rock. I've been listening to some more Highly Suspect. I know that's different from what I just said. But yeah, I don't know. I'm slowly more and more becoming more of just an indie bitch, you know?
Who would have thought?
How life goes.
It is what it is, you know?
You know, at least you're not
C.S. Levier.
listening to Lil Boy by Death Grips like me, apparently.
Oh, dude, no.
Meet me at the money store, bro.
Dude. William loves that song.
People with hearing aids love Guillotine by Death Grips.
Classic song.
People love that outro, bro.
Listen to Spike. I got some Death Grip songs to share with you boys. So.
Go for it. Send them in the Discord.
Well, there you go. Yeah, now you're in the Discord. You're in the. You've got the in.
That could be here we
go. All right. Well, I guess. I'm sorry. I'm having to literally write out this outro so that I get this album title right, Nick. Thanks for that.
It's a long one.
I think I just wrote it down.
Imagine not knowing the legendary magnum opus that is Of the Blue Color of the Sky.
The magnificent. Okay, I've written it down so we can say it. We just wanted to say, oh my god, I just stumbled over everything I just said. We just wanted to say thanks again for listening this week. And thanks for Hunter for joining us, letting us round out guest summer.
Yeah. Thank you for coming.
It's not summer. It's not a month. I don't know. But yeah, it was a good time. We'll hopefully have you on again. But for the listener, remember to tune in next week, where we're going to be just the three of us looking at Of the Blue Color of the Sky by OK Go. You know, be sure to listen to it however much as you want, so you can kind of have your own thoughts and mentally join in the discussion with us a little bit. If you'd like to, not mentally, but rather digitally and physically join in the discussion, you can throw a comment our way about your thoughts on this week's album or the episode on YouTube, or if you want, you can also tweet them at us or find us on Instagram. We're on Twitter at ListUpPodcast, and that account, as well as our Instagram, which is at ListenUpPod, and all of our personal media links are going to be in the description of wherever you found this episode. If you enjoyed this episode, if you wanted to throw a rating or review our way, that'd be cool. If not, no worries. But for now, we'll catch you next week, and remember to listen up.